Good afternoon. Thank you for being with us for the 2019 College of Visual and Performing Arts Master's Hooding Ceremony. I'm Professor Chuck Morris, Chairperson of the Department of Communication and Rhetorical Studies. I begin this ceremony by acknowledging with respect the Onondaga Nation, fire keepers of the Haudenosaunee, the indigenous people on whose ancestral lands Syracuse University now stands. It's my great pleasure to welcome you all, graduates, families, friends, to the beautiful Setner Auditorium on this festive occasion as we celebrate these accomplished masters. Derived from the Latin magister, magister, magister for teacher, and dating to the medieval European university, the master's degree, which will be conferred officially at the commencement ceremony tomorrow morning, reflects the successful acquisition in course of consummate skill or expertise in a disciplinary domain of academic study or professional artistic practice. To underscore the significance of the degree, I should tell you that the bar has been significantly raised over the centuries. Early on, it was bestowed simply upon those with baccalaureate degrees, for who a period of 3 years managed to sustain what was thought of as respectable lifestyles, namely, for instance, as I understand the history, by staying out of jail. The first master's degree earned at Syracuse University was awarded in 1876 to George Smalley in the Department of Geology, and the first master's thesis at SU, entitled The Mythical Element in Roman Literature, was defended in 1878. In our own time, the master's degree requires dedication and rigor through coursework, research and writing, creation, composition, performance, and exhibition. Through imagination and critique, innovation, vision, through the calluses of intensive practice and virtuosic brilliance that enchants and moves us, through the soul-searching and critical engagement and voice that challenges norms and injustice and seeks transformation. Through this labor, these talented students have earned Masters of Arts, Science, Fine Arts, and Music degrees. In symbolizing the achievement, we will place around their necks colorful hoods representing their disciplines, regalia emblematic of their new status as magister, bidding them farewell with the hope that they, with these skills and knowledge, will become world makers. As we celebrate these graduates, it's important to emphasize that masters require mentors, gifted teachers and advisors whose own wisdom and generosity have constituted the promise and modeled the practice that culminate in this achievement. So I ask those faculty members seated behind me who have taught and mentored these masters to please stand. And I ask all of you to please join me in thanking these remarkable people with a rousing round of gratitude. Now I'm pleased to introduce to you those seated at the front of the stage. From the college's administration, Michael Tick, Dean of the College of Visual and Performing Arts. Ralph Lorenz, Senior Associate Dean of Academic Affairs. Elisa DeCaney, Associate Dean of Research, Graduate Studies, and Internationalization. Our student speaker, Matthew Ringard, from the Department of Communication and Rhetorical Studies. And the chairs and directors of the college's disciplines, Joanna Spitzner, School of Art, James Fathers, School of Design, Martha Sutter, Setner School of Music, Doug Dubois, Department of Transmedia, and Ralph Zito, Department of Drama. And now I give the podium to Dean Michael Tick to share his opening remarks.
I can see that next year's script has to include "please be seated." We will rehearse that next year. Thank you, Professor Morris. Good afternoon. Today's ceremony signifies more than just the earning of your master's degree. It signifies your transition from being our students to our professional colleagues. We are extremely proud of you. So, as you walked into the building today, no doubt you noticed the scaffolding on the southwest side of Krause College. Soon, the 3 cupolas will be removed from the top of this 138-year-old structure and set aside the building for restoration. In doing so, we preserve and pay homage to our historic achievements. And when these precious cupolas are lifted skyward in late summer, we will be reminded of our aspirations. And that is what I wish for you today as you journey forth, to remember all that you have achieved here in the past several years, and to continue to aspire to great heights. Syracuse University is a place of great history and tradition, yet with each graduating class, we redefine our future based on your achievements. Because each and every one of you, as you make your mark in this world, spreads a little orange and inspires others to follow in your footsteps. Before I recognize the graduates gathered here today, I must say thank you to the families and friends who supported you and helped bring you to this moment. I ask the parents, spouses, partners, and family members, rise and be recognized by you and by all of us gathered here today. We are an eclectic bunch, and I have been privileged as your dean to meet with many of you at exhibitions and screenings, concerts, presentations, visited your classes, read about your research. Today, 82 of you will walk across this stage. You come to us from around the country, 13 states to be exact, and across the oceans from 12 countries. Because of your travels, many of you call yourselves citizens of the world, having studied in places like Los Angeles, Berlin, and Moscow. When you chose Syracuse University as your alma mater, you believed this place would feed your passions, would expand your horizons, would give you opportunities to contribute to the cultural and social advancement of our communities and the world. I am confident, we are confident, that you will channel your passions into areas you may never have thought possible when you first came here. Perhaps you will join a Syracuse alumnus, you'll find them everywhere, in designing new exhibitions, mounting your first solo show, working on your latest film, or in the countless concert halls around the nation, or perhaps teaching the next generation of gifted artists, designers, musicians, and communication scholars and theorists. What you have, what Syracuse University strengthened in you, is the talent and the discipline, the creativity and the artistic integrity, the ability to think culturally, critically, and to communicate with clarity, all the ingredients necessary for your success. And now, you join a vast global network of alumni who stand ready to take your hand and support you. When you leave here, you may not have to climb those 78 steps up to Krause College, or you might not have to navigate 130 inches of snow. But remember, that's what gave you the muscle to take other challenging steps on your journey. Know your Orange family is proud of you and wants to keep in touch. I look forward to your professional and personal stories of success. Congratulations. We wish you the very best. have asked one of your fellow graduates to speak on behalf of the class of 2019. This year, that honor goes to Matthew Ringard, who will graduate from the Department of Communication and Rhetorical Studies with a Master's of Arts degree. While at Syracuse, he earned a Certificate Advanced Study in Women's and Gender Studies and a Certificate of University Teaching from the Future Professoriate Program. Matthew's research interests include rhetorical theory and criticism. His master's thesis is titled Seeking Refuge, Neoliberalism, Institutional Rhetoric, and the Sanctuary Campus Movement. He was among the 6 CRS graduate students who had scholarly work selected for presentation at the National Communication Association convention this past fall. That's a remarkable achievement. A California native, he plans to return to the San Francisco Bay Area to continue teaching, reading, and writing before applying for a PhD program in rhetorical studies. Please join me in welcoming Matthew Ringard.
Thank you, Dean Tick, for the introduction, and thank you everyone for being here today. I'm proud to be among so many brilliant graduate students, and I don't know about you all, but I can't wait to wear the hood everywhere I go. So, as Dean Tick mentioned, I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I lived there most of my life until I moved here to Syracuse to study. When I visit home, I tend to get some common questions. The first is always, what is it exactly you're studying? Which is usually followed by, and what are you going to do with that? Another one I get sometimes is, why are you in the same college as all these other departments? What do you all have in common? And then another one is, why would you go to upstate New York? You know about the weather, right? It's taken a little while, but I think I'm closer to the answer to all these questions. In the past few weeks, as I prepared to defend my thesis, to deliver this speech, and to move away from Syracuse, I've been reflecting on my time here. I went back to one of the first essays I read in a seminar on rhetorical criticism with Dr. Morris. It's an editorial by Robert Ivy, who's a scholar of rhetoric and communication. And in it, I think he gets to the heart of not just what we do in CRS, but what all of us in VPA do. Ivy writes that in our work, quote, we take the social significance of symbolic action seriously. Symbols are our content, realized and potential, not just the manifestation of impersonal forces working their inevitable influence on human behavior, end quote. What Ivy's saying here is that the work that we do, art, design, performance, criticism, education, these are practices of sense-making and world-making. They are responses to fractured social realities, and they are antidotes to the toxins of racism, sexism, homophobia, ableism, and colonialism. They are disciplines that make our lives meaningful. Literally, they fill our lives and social worlds with meaning. We use the arts to understand the world we're in, but also to imagine the world that we want. At a time when the arts and humanities are under relentless attack inside the academy and out, this work remains urgent. And in VPA, this work happens every single day. Take just a few examples from the last year. In Thank You, Andy, an exhibition at 914 Works, MFA studio arts students Brett Morgan and Holly Lyko pay tribute to the influence of Andy Warhol and use an assemblage of kitsch to challenge normative ideas of gender, sexuality, and domesticity while celebrating the queer, the camp, the refusal to fit in. Or take Plans Are Canceled, the thesis exhibition of 24 art and transmedia MFA candidates. The exhibition reworks and plays with what it means when plans are canceled, when our schedules or life plans or worldviews are unexpectedly disrupted. For these artists, canceled plans mean the opportunity to rethink and to create something new. In museum studies, Hannah Barber worked as the collections manager for Americans Who Tell the Truth, an exhibition of 238 pieces by the artist Robert Shetterly that was on view in the Shine Student Center here on campus. This exhibition blended the challenges of not only the logistics of moving pieces of art, but also thinking about how you display art and create an exhibition outside of the traditional museum setting. And graduate students in music education have brought their knowledge out to the community, such as Catherine Vedilago, who works with the Syracuse Children's Theater, igniting and passing on the joys of music. So I think this gets at the first few of those common questions. In VPA, we are artists, performers, designers, critics, scholars, and teachers. Our graduate training in VPA makes us particularly qualified to emerge as cultural leaders who employ our disciplines to engage audiences, to share knowledge, and to enact transformation. Now, as to the question about the weather, I know Syracuse is notorious for its winters, but what I have to say as a Californian I've really not been able to get over is the spectacle of spring. And I'm so glad that today was nice, because otherwise this line wouldn't have worked. There's really a stunning performance, the electric green of the grass, the explosion of the blooms, and that gentle but really swift unfurling of tree leaves. And it matches, I think, our own flourishing and vibrancy as we leave VPA. With a finale like this, what's a couple inches of snow? Thank you, and congratulations again.
Good afternoon. I'm Ralph Zito, chair of the college's Department of Drama. Before we bring our graduates to the stage, I would like to call your attention to the back page of our program, where we list the names of the graduate students who won awards and prizes in their area of study. Would those talented students please stand while we congratulate them with a round of applause? And now it is my pleasure to begin the hooding ceremony for the class of 2019. Will those students who have earned graduate degrees in the School of Art please come forward? Dean Tick, Ralph Lorenz, Eliza DeCaney, Joanna Spintzner, and Juan Juarez, will you please come to the platform? And will the faculty of the School of Art please come forward to congratulate your students? Renee Gortat. Mark Zibikowski, Jr. Candace Corrigan. Leticia Hernandez. Wang Ji. Sylvie Prendergast Corvo. Jason Cheney. Samantha Corbett. Holly Lyko. Adam Hutchinson. Andrea Buckvold. And now will those students who have earned graduate degrees in the Department of Communication and Rhetorical Studies please come forward. Chuck Morris and Dana Cloud, will you please come to the platform? And will the faculty of the department please come forward to congratulate your students? Matthew Ringard. Michael Camilli. Elizabeth Cooney Petro. Christina Deca. Chris DeCesare. Helene Thompson. Will those students who have earned graduate degrees in the School of Design please come forward? James Fathers, Don Carr, Emily Stokes-Reese, and Andrew Saluti, will you please come to the platform? And will the faculty of the School of Design please come forward to congratulate your students? Farouk Jafari. Ran Zhang. Yumeng Yang. Yun Deng. Michaela Jean Plouffe. Kimberly Ann Hoffman. Lily Allison Brandt. Sydney Lauren Jean Duncan. Hannah Elizabeth Barber. Megan Wright. Emily Christine Kraft. Lynn Smith. David Joseph Hazel. Will those students who have earned graduate degrees in the Setner School of Music please come forward? Martha Sutter and Jill Cajola, will you please come to the platform? And will the faculty of the Setner School please come forward to congratulate your students? Samantha Ryan. Nick Godzak. Catherine Vedilago. Patrick Keeley. Shunshun Zhang. Mia Chuli Tsai. Frank Sheffield. Matthew Farrelly. Michael DiGiorgio. R. Lawson Cade. Joseph Vincent. Hannah Langtree. James McGowan. Dominic Joseph Toma.
My band just released an EP on Spotify and Apple Music called The E-Block. Make sure you all go check it out.
Caitlin Cook. Chuanji John. Oresha Wibisono. Dominika Semanerkova. Hayel Ruthod. Will those students who have earned graduate degrees in the Department of Transmedia please come forward? Doug Dubois and Yasser Agur, will you please come to the platform? And will the department faculty please come forward to congratulate your students? Taylor M. Clark. Megan King. Shlumela Matika. Siok Woon Aoyang. Navjot Kaur. Kan Chow. Thank you, everyone. Before we conclude our program with the singing of the alma mater, I'd like to remind everyone that the college will hold a convocation celebration tonight at 7:30 p.m. in the Carrier Dome. Graduate students and their families and friends are invited to attend. A reception will be held after the ceremony. We would also like to thank Professor Joseph Downing from the Setner School of Music for performing on the organ today. And now please stand as we sing the first verse of the alma mater, which you will find on your program insert.